Hello and welcome to your 24/7 radio station, Global News Radio. This is AI Global News, the first fully automated 24/7 AI news radio station. Today is Wednesday, April 15th, 2026. Thanks for being here. We are starting with the latest headlines and a few quick curiosities. Chrome skills let you save your favorite Gemini prompts for easy access. Here is the detail behind it. Skills allow you to save your favorite Gemini in Chrome prompts for quick access, thereby making it easier and faster to repeat certain tasks. Skills you save are available on any version of Chrome for desktop where you're signed into your account, though for the time being, Google is only rolling out the feature to people who have their browser language set to US English. No one likes being discombobulated. How did the feeling get such a fun name? Here is the broader picture. Sometimes you just need to recombobulate. That word isn't in the dictionary, but it is on a beloved sign at Milwaukee's airport. They counted on a rural dialysis unit to keep them alive. Then it closed. Here is the broader picture. A hospital in Nebraska shut down the only dialysis unit for miles, appending lives. That's despite a new federal program that gave the state more than $200 million to improve rural healthcare access. U.S. begins a blockade of the Strait of Hormuz. According to the report, European countries declined to take part in the action, which is designed to pressure Iran into making concessions by cutting off its oil income. Ukraine's military to get biggest ever shipment of UK drones. According to the report, with attention on the Middle East, Defense Secretary John Healey said Putin wants us to be distracted. Reform's Scottish leader defends Labour deal claim. Here is a little more context. Malcolm Offord said during a TV debate that Scottish Labour leader Anna Sarwar told him their parties should work together to remove the SNP. Analysis: is government going wobbly on its migration plans? The report says that Chris Mason asks if the UK government will stick to its big immigration shakeup or water it down. The morning after, Meta is reportedly working on an AI model of Mark Zuckerberg. In more detail, Matt Smith. The other big stories this morning: how to de-Gemini your Google Apps. YouTube Premium's US pricing is going up. Games Workshop brings 7 classic Warhammer games to Steam. Meta warned that facial recognition on smart glasses would empower predators. Multiple organizations, including the ACLU, are wary of the tech. Adding to the grossness of all this, according to the New York Times, Meta issued an internal memo last year suggesting it could roll out this technology during a dynamic political environment where many civil society groups that we would expect to attack us would have their resources focused on other concerns. In short, attempting to add the feature when pushback would be limited or unfocused. According to the note, seen by The Verge, short-term, Game Pass has become too expensive for players, so we need a better value equation. Microsoft raised the price of Game Pass twice in 15 months, and many Xbox exclusives have made their way to rival PlayStation. Google search tackles sites that try to stop you from leaving when you hit the back button. Here is the detail behind it. Under a new policy that 9 to 5 Google spotted, Google will treat back button hijacking as an explicit violation of the malicious practices of spam policies alongside the likes of malware. Back button hijacking interferes with the browser's functionality, breaks the expected user journey and results in user frustration, Chris Nelson, from the Google Search Quality team, wrote in the announcement. As we've stated before, inserting deceptive or manipulative pages into a user's browser history has always been against our Google Search Essentials. Google says it has seen an increase in back button hijacking, and it's great that the company is taking steps to combat it. In Leo, Trump faces a different kind of papal opponent. According to the report, unlike his predecessor, Pope Leo XIV enjoys growing support from a broad swath of conservative Catholics. Pope heads to Cameroon as separatists announce 3-day pause in fighting. Here is a little more context. Pope Leo XIV is heading to the Central African nation of Cameroon with a message of peace for its separatist region and for talks with President Paul Biya. Welsh Labour manifesto explained in under 60 seconds. Here is what is being reported. BBC Wales political editor Gareth Lewis explains Welsh Labour's pledges for the Senedd election in May. Stormzy's stab vest goes on display in landmark exhibition of Black British music. According to the report, the Banksy-designed vest features alongside artifacts from Shirley Bassey, Sod, and Craig David. Apple reportedly testing out 4 different styles for its smart glasses that will rival Meta Ray-Bans. The report adds that Gurman reported Apple is testing out a large rectangular frame that's comparable to Ray-Ban Wayfarers, a slimmer rectangular design like the glasses that Apple CEO Tim Cook wears, a larger oval or circular frame and a smaller oval or circle option. Like Meta's smart glasses, Apple's upcoming product will capture photos and videos, but is meant to better sync with an iPhone, allowing users to take advantage of Apple's ecosystem for editing, sharing, phone calls, notifications, music and even its voice assistant, according to Gurman. The release of Apple's smart glasses could even coincide with the upcoming improved Siri that should arrive with iOS 27. Europe is desperate for more energy. Can Norway come to the rescue? Here is a little more context. The war in Iran has once again exposed Europe's energy vulnerability. A friendly source at home would seem to be ideal. But it's not that easy. 2 suspects have been arrested for allegedly shooting at Sam Altman's house. The report adds that OpenAI CEO Sam Altman's house may have been the target of a second attack after San Francisco Police Department arrested 2 suspects for a reported shooting in the Russian Hill neighborhood. According to the initial police report, as reported by the San Francisco Standard, 2 people inside a Honda sedan stopped in front of Altman's property that spans from Chestnut Street to Lombard Street. On Friday, a 20-year-old man allegedly hurled a Molotov cocktail at Altman's home, which caused a fire on one of the property's exterior gates, according to SFPD. Marine animals in the Strait of Hormuz don't get a ceasefire. In more detail, as ships return to the Strait of Hormuz, mines, sonar, and congestion continue to reshape the Gulf beneath the surface. Marmalades may need to be relabeled under post-Brexit food deal. The report says that the breakfast favourite will be legally renamed when Britain aligns with new EU labelling rules. Irish PM dodges potential St. Patrick's Day bruises at Trump meeting. Here is what is being reported. BBC News NI political editor Enda McLafferty looks at how Michael Martin fared against Donald Trump during their St. Patrick's Day meeting. A simple guide to the May elections in England, Scotland, and Wales. The report says that millions will vote in parliamentary elections in Scotland and Wales, and local elections in England. Sony killing features for antenna, set-top box users of Bravia smart TVs in May. In more detail, some 2023 and 2024 models are also affected. Google shoehorned Rust into Pixel 10 modem to make legacy code safer. The report adds that cellular modems are complex black boxes of legacy code, but Google is making them safer with Rust. Xbox CEO called Game Pass too expensive for players in a leaked memo. Here is the detail behind it. Long term, we will evolve Game Pass into a more flexible system which will take time to test and learn around. After Microsoft upped the price for Game Pass twice within 15 months, many of us certainly felt that the service had gotten too costly to keep. Xbox is still offering a wide range of titles on Game Pass. The April update is adding indies like Hades 2 and new Double Fine Project Kiln alongside AAA hits like the remake of Call of Duty, Modern Warfare. UK faces biggest hit to growth from Iran war of major economies, IMF says. Here is what is being reported. The financial body cuts its growth forecast for the UK and warns the war threatens to throw the global economy off course. These are the 3 power tools you need, 2026. In more detail, new to DIY and home repair? These are the essential power tools that will make your life easier, no matter what you're building and repairing. More details are available on the website. We will be back with more headlines shortly. Hello and welcome to your 24/7 radio station, Global News Radio. This is AI Global News, the first fully automated 24/7 AI news radio station. Today is Wednesday, April 15th, 2026. Thanks for being here. We are starting with the latest headlines and a few quick curiosities. Defeat of Orban removes Ukraine's biggest nemesis in Europe. According to the report, the Hungarian leader's pro-Moscow tilt cemented his reputation in Kiev as a spoiler. Now, Ukraine hopes a €90 billion loan he blocked will be disbursed. Sony is developing a Bloodborne animated film adaptation. In more detail, Sony Pictures Entertainment Motion Picture Group held a presentation at CinemaCon, where the division's president said that the adaptation will be very true to the violent and graphic nature of the game. Bloomberg had reported in February that Bluepoint Games, the now-defunct Sony studio behind many PlayStation remakes, wanted to work on a new version of the classic Gothic horror RPG for modern consoles. Despite being too busy to do it, he said during an interview that he doesn't want anyone else to touch it. The Bloodborne film adaptation will be co-produced by PlayStation Productions, Lyrical Animation and Sean McLaughlin, a gaming YouTube known by his pseudonym Jacksepticeye. UK will not join US blockade of Strait of Hormuz, Starmer says. Here is a little more context. Prime Minister Keir Starmer said the UK's diplomatic efforts are directed at keeping the vital waterway open, not shut. You can attend Pokemon EDM shows in Los Angeles and London. Here is the detail behind it. In addition to holding EDM concerts, Nintendo and the Pokemon Company re-released the Game Boy Advance remakes of Pokemon Red and Blue on Nintendo Switch Online for the franchise's 30th anniversary. They also released a Game Boy-shaped portable Pokemon jukebox, little music players that can be loaded with a different melody or sound effect from the original game's soundtracks. Is the Trump-Starmer bromance over? In the latest development, the disintegration of the pair's friendship has benefits, and the PM is getting steadily more comfortable at taking advantage. Australia's richest person must share part of her mining fortunes, court rules. According to the report, the long-running legal dispute is over a lucrative iron ore project in the top west corner of Australia. Council tax bills in England to rise in April, see how yours compares. Here is what is being reported. It will rise by 4.9% on average across England from next month, new figures show. Edward Big Balls Corey Stein is helping out on viral fraud videos now. In the latest development, the Doge engineer appeared on influencer Nick Shirley's podcast this week to talk corruption and government work, and how they collaborated on Shirley's recent investigation. Your push notifications aren't safe from the FBI. In more detail, plus, Iran's internet blackout hits the 1,000-hour mark, cryptocurrency scams result in a record amount of money stolen from Americans, and more. Unmasking the paramilitary agents behind Trump's violent immigration crackdown. The report says that a wired analysis of DHS records identified dozens of specialized federal agents who used force against U.S. civilians during the largest known deployment of its kind in U.S. history. The moms who sponkin their daughters' first periods. The report adds that from Mormon momfluencer domination to boosting engagement with partially clothed kids, journalist Fortiza Latify's new book exposes the dark and complex world of child influencers. Godzilla -0 stomps through New York in first teaser trailer. In more detail, insert Godzilla screeching sound. Here's the very first look at the next big kaiju feature. Godzilla -0 will continue the story of 2023's Godzilla -1, which returned the franchise to the more grounded tone established in the original film, and while the new teaser trailer doesn't show a whole lot, it suggests some. Hungary may no longer be Putin's ally, but it can't afford a full break. According to the report, Prime Minister Viktor Orban's defeat will make it harder for the Kremlin to divide Europe, but Moscow retains leverage through energy sales. The surprising MacBook Neo competitor you've never heard of. In more detail, in many ways, the HP OmniBook 5 is a better budget laptop than the MacBook Neo, especially when the discounts are strong. What the U.S. blockade of Iran and the Strait of Hormuz might look like. Here is the broader picture. The U.S. military has provided few details on how it might carry out President Trump's orders as he seeks to pressure Tehran on a peace deal. But history and established practices offer some clues. Benin's Romuald Wadogni poised to win presidential election. Here is a little more context. Romuald Wadogni received 94% of the vote, according to provisional results. He faces the challenge of a growing jihadist insurgency in the region. Tax season was supposed to bring big refunds. So far they're less than expected. Here is a little more context. The average refund so far is $350 more than last year at this time, despite projections that it would be closer to $1,000 due to Republican-led tax changes as part of the Big Beautiful Bill Act. World Cup winner Kildun reveals body dysmorphia struggle. According to the report, England rugby star Ellie Kildun reveals she suffered from disordered eating and body dysmorphia during the coronavirus lockdown. Mario Rios Montt, bishop and brother of genocidal general, dies at 94. Here is a little more context. In Guatemala, he led the Catholic Church's Human Rights Office. His brother, a dictator who took power in a coup, was convicted of crimes against humanity. Why Europe's leaders have struggled to speak as one on Iran. The report says that European nations say they want to work better together but have differing priorities. OpenAI says Elon Musk is orchestrating a last-minute legal ambush before trial. The report adds that OpenAI filed its response on Friday, which detailed that Musk was sandbagging the defendants and injecting chaos into the proceedings, while trying to recast his public narrative about his lawsuit. The lawsuit dates back to 2024 when Elon Musk sued both OpenAI and Microsoft, accusing the AI giant of ditching its original mission of being a non-profit and instead converting into a for-profit business after receiving financial backing and forming a partnership with Microsoft. In OpenAI's Friday filing, the AI company claimed that Musk's last-minute changes were legally improper and factually unsupported. There's a lot at stake with this lawsuit since Musk is reportedly seeking anywhere between $79 billion and $134 billion in wrongful gains. With both OpenAI and Microsoft denying any wrongdoing, according to Bloomberg, the trial is still set to kick off on April 27. Magyar meets Hungarian president as Trump says next PM a good man. Here is the broader picture. The man who ended Viktor Orbán's 16 years of continuous rule, Peter Magyar, is calling for a speedy transfer of power. The 10 best TV shows to stream this month, April 2026. In more detail, The Boys, The Testaments, and Stranger Things, Tales from 85 are just a few of the TV shows we're binging this month. Retro handheld maker Anbernic's latest device has a swiveling display. The report adds that the retro gaming handheld maker revealed the RG Rotate on its YouTube channel, showing off a 1:1 display that swivels out much like the T-Mobile Sidekick of yore. Anbernic often drip feeds details of its upcoming products over time, but so far, we know that the RG Rotate will run on Android, feature an aluminum alloy frame and come in polar black and aurora silver. Anbernic's video detailed that the handheld will have a proprietary ultra-thin alloy hinge that went through high durability testing. While the handheld maker has experience with other hinges as seen with its RG-DS and RG34XXSP, the RG Rotate's hinge mechanism could prove to be a new engineering challenge. $20 Chewy promo code, April 2026. In more detail, explore Chewy coupon codes for $30 off, $20 off your first order, $49, 50% off pet food, and more April 2026 discounts. More details are available on the website. We will be back with more headlines shortly. Hello and welcome to your 24/7 radio station, Global News Radio. This is AI Global News, the first fully automated 24/7 AI news radio station. Today is Wednesday, April 15, 2026. Thanks for being here. We are starting with the latest headlines and a few quick curiosities. Sarwar puts NHS at heart of Scottish Labour's election pitch. The report says that the party has announced its plans for health, education, and taxation ahead of next month's Holyrood election. B&H photo promo codes and deals this April. The report adds that enjoy top deals on cameras, computers, and tech essentials at B&H Photo. 2 suspects have been arrested for allegedly shooting at Sam Altman's house. The report adds that OpenAI CEO Sam Altman's house may have been the target of a second attack after San Francisco Police Department arrested 2 suspects for a reported shooting in the Russian Hill neighborhood. According to the initial police report, as reported by the San Francisco Standard, 2 people inside a Honda sedan stopped in front of Altman's property that spans from Chestnut Street to Lombard Street. On Friday, a 20-year-old man allegedly hurled a Molotov cocktail at Altman's home, which caused a fire on one of the property's exterior gates, according to SFPD. What to expect from Google I/O 2026. The report adds that what to expect leaked image of Google's Aluminium OS 9 to 5 Google. There haven't been many credible leaks ahead of Google I/O as yet, but we can make some educated guesses about what to expect from the event. That said, Google has been moving away from a big annual release approach in favor of juicier Pixel drops Android updates, so we may not see some of the new features it unveils at I/O for some time. As for other operating systems, Google is planning to meld Chrome OS and Android into a unified platform. But don't be surprised if we don't see that or the Pixel Watch 5 until Google's dedicated hardware event, which has taken place in August or October in recent years. Google will want to stay well away from Apple's iPhone event, which will likely take place in September as usual. Trump says second round of US-Iran talks could take place this week. Here is a little more context. The president did not say who would represent the United States in a potential next round of direct talks, though he ruled out being personally involved. Politicians are spending more money on security as they increasingly become targets. Here is what is being reported. Political candidates are purchasing more home alarms, bulletproof vests, and other protections amid rising fears of political violence. Legal advisors help migrants pose as gay to get asylum, undercover BBC investigation finds. According to the report, the BBC exposes a shadow industry charging migrants thousands of pounds to help them cheat the asylum system. When El Salvador's prisoners are set free, she's there to pick them up. According to the report, Shuggy Amaya's brother was detained in El Salvador's mass arrest campaign 4 years ago. She has devoted her life to helping prisoners like him. Butterfly numbers are dropping, but here are 5 species you may see more of. Here is the broader picture. A warming climate has helped some to flourish, researchers say, but the outlook is troubling. Can we afford to keep the UK safe? Here is a little more context. Former NATO chief warns UK's national security in peril. Former NATO chief warns UK's national security in peril. The report says that Lord George Robertson, a former Labour Defence Secretary, will use a speech to accuse non-military experts in the Treasury of vandalism. New search engine reveals if ancestors were in Nazi party. Here is the broader picture. Christian Rayner told the BBC he found his grandfather within seconds using the online tool, which also helped clear other members of his family. Carney suspends gas tax in Canada as war drives up fuel costs. Here is the broader picture. The Prime Minister said that his government was also investing in ways to boost oil and gas production. Wider license extensions for pubs during World Cup. In the latest development, the government had previously announced opening hour extensions in England and Wales for some knockout matches, but has now widened the eligibility. Slots Isak gamble backfires as Liverpool trophy hopes end. Here is the broader picture. Arne Slot's gamble to start Alexander Isak against PSG backfires with his own future also in the balance after a Champions League exit. Plaid Cymru's manifesto explained in a minute. The report says that Gareth Lewis explains the key headlines from Plaid Cymru's manifesto for the 2026 Senate election. FCC just handed Netgear a de facto router monopoly in the US. Here is the detail behind it. The Federal Communications Commission has announced that Netgear has been given conditional approval that effectively exempts it from a previous ban on foreign-made networking routers. We're pleased to share that Netgear is the first retail consumer router company to receive conditional approval from the Federal Communications Commission, FCC, as a trusted consumer router company, Netgear CEO CJ Prober said in a statement. For the last 30 years, we have been, and continue to be, committed to leading the consumer router category for the United States and setting the bar for quality, performance, innovation, and security. Both Netgear's lines of Nighthawk and Orbi mesh routers are covered by the approval until October 1, 2027, which appears to mean that the company can continue to offer software updates to both lines and presumably release and sell new models in the future. Top iRestore deals for hair growth and LED therapy devices. Here is the detail behind it. Today, iRestore is offering up to $900 off select devices and up to $1,550 off bundles. Roblox defends expanded age checks after parents raise concerns over errors. Here is the detail behind it. With 144M daily users, the gaming company is extending its tech to introduce 2 age-specific accounts. Israelis don't feel much like victors in war with Iran. Here is a little more context. The regime in Iran has not changed and the nuclear and missile threats have not been eliminated, leaving many Israelis to wonder what this was all for. 2-year-old Surface PCs get $300 price hikes as sub-$1000 models go away. In more detail, paying more for the same stuff is the story of consumer technology in 2026. Super Typhoon Sinlaku pounds remote U.S. islands in the Pacific Ocean. Here is the broader picture. A super typhoon steadily battered a pair of remote U.S. islands in the Pacific Ocean with ferocious winds and relentless rains, shredding tin roofs and forcing residents to take cover. Apple chooses Amazon satellites for iPhone, years after rejecting Starlink offer. Here is the detail behind it. Amazon announces $11.6 billion merger with Globalstar and satellite deal with Apple. Lucid Motors names new CEO, lands more money from Uber and Saudis. In more detail, the search for a new CEO, which lasted over a year following the sudden resignation of Peter Rawlinson, is finally over. Anthropic opposes the extreme AI liability bill that OpenAI backed. In more detail, Anthropic and OpenAI are clashing over a proposed Illinois law that would let AI labs largely off the hook for mass deaths and financial disasters. More details are available on the website. We will be back with more headlines. Hello and welcome to your 24/7 radio station, Global News Radio. This is AI Global News, the first fully automated 24/7 AI news radio station. Today is Wednesday, April 15, 2026. Thanks for being here. We are starting with the latest headlines and a few quick curiosities. Sunrise on the Reaping teaser brings us a second quarter quell. Here is the detail behind it. You have no idea what's in store for you. Twice the number of tributes, twice the glory. Slate Auto raises $650 million as production gets closer and closer. The report adds that the Slate truck will start in the mid-$20,000s when it goes on sale in late 2026. Marine animals in the Strait of Hormuz don't get a ceasefire. In more detail, as ships return to the Strait of Hormuz, mines, sonar, and congestion continue to reshape the Gulf beneath the surface. As Starmer faces war overseas, his party can't find peace at home. Here is what is being reported. British politicians tend to stick together during dangerous moments abroad. In 2026? Not so much. What's in Hassan Piker's starter pack? Creatine, ZYNS, Signal. The report adds that the internet's most jacked leftist shares the tech and daily rituals that fuel his marathon streams. Oldest known meteor shower to light up UK skies this week. Here is a little more context. Resulting from the Earth passing through dust left behind by Comet Thatcher centuries ago, the Lyrid meteor shower starts this week. How the rewards app FreeCash scammed its way to the top of the app stores. In more detail, FreeCash was removed from Apple's App Store after TechCrunch reached out for comment. Ex-student wounds 16 in high. Hello and welcome to your 24/7 radio station, Global News Radio. This is AI Global News, the first fully automated 24/7 AI news radio station. Today is Wednesday, April 15th, 2026. Thanks for being here. We are starting with the latest headlines and a few quick curiosities. How the internet broke everyone's bullshit detectors. In the latest development, from AI-generated images to restricted satellite data, the systems used to verify what's real online are struggling to keep up. Your push notifications aren't safe from the FBI. In more detail, plus, Iran's internet blackout hits the 1,000-hour mark, cryptocurrency scams result in a record amount of money stolen from Americans, and more. The first European country to get Tesla's full self-driving supervised will be the Netherlands. In more detail, RDW, the country's regulatory authority on vehicles, confirmed the news with a post on its website about Tesla receiving a type approval for its full self-driving, supervised, system. According to the RDW, Tesla's full self-driving, supervised, has been extensively examined and tested for more than 1.5 years on our test track and on public roads, and concluded that it was a positive contribution to road safety. However, RDW pointed out that a Tesla with FSD supervised was not self-driving, adding that the driver remains responsible and must always remain in control. With Dutch approvals, Tesla notched its first regulatory green light for FSD use in Europe. Lib Dems call for GP guarantee on new housing developments. In the latest development, a new law would require developers to fund, build, or expand existing GP surgeries, the party says. The surprising MacBook Neo competitor you've never heard of. In more detail, in many ways, the HP OmniBook 5 is a better budget laptop than the MacBook Neo, especially when the discounts are strong. The deepfake nudes crisis in schools is much worse than you thought. Hello and welcome to your 24/7 radio station, Global News Radio. This is AI Global News, the first fully automated 24/7 AI news radio station. Today is Wednesday, April 15th, 2026. Thanks for being here. We are starting with the latest headlines and a few quick curiosities. How the internet broke everyone's bullshit detectors. In the latest development, from AI-generated images to restricted satellite data, the systems used to verify what's real online are struggling to keep up. Your push notifications aren't safe from the FBI. In more detail, plus, Iran's internet blackout hits the 1,000-hour mark, cryptocurrency scams result in a record amount of money stolen from Americans, and more. The first European country to get Tesla's full self-driving supervised will be the Netherlands. In more detail, RDW, the country's regulatory authority on vehicles, confirmed the news with a post on its website about Tesla receiving a type approval for its full self-driving, supervised, system. According to the RDW, Tesla's full self-driving, supervised, has been extensively examined and tested for more than 1.5 years on our test track and on public roads, and concluded that it was a positive contribution to road safety. However, RDW pointed out that a Tesla with FSD supervised was not self-driving, adding that the driver remains responsible and must always remain in control. With Dutch approvals, Tesla notched its first regulatory green light for FSD use in Europe. Lib Dems call for GP guarantee on new housing developments. Hello and welcome to your 24/7 radio station, Global News Radio. This is AI Global News, the first fully automated 24/7 AI news radio station. Today is Wednesday, April 15, 2026. Thanks for being here. We are starting with the latest headlines and a few quick curiosities.